Eyes were like the fiery pits of Mordor. Should I use that simile? A good simile or metaphor can really strengthen your writing. It can bring some great description to a character or a scene or drive a point home. A bad simile or metaphor will make me go, ugh. So how do you know if you should use that simile or metaphor that you've come up with? I have a few questions you can ask yourself. I should start with the disclaimer that while I love a good metaphor, I do think they can really bog down a book if they're used too much or used in the wrong way. If you just really love figurative speech and that's your thing, then you do you. This is just advice. First question, and a very important one, does your metaphor make sense? This is twofold. First off, will it make sense to your readers? I mean, there's something to be said for a good literary reference. It makes you feel really smart as the reader when you read Dr. Faustus in 12th grade, so you get what Mephistopheles means. But the whole point of a simile or metaphor is to compare whatever it is you're comparing to something that most people will understand and recognize. Particularly if whatever you're describing or talking about is integral to the story, you want as many readers as possible to be able to understand what you're talking about. Second part of this question is, does the metaphor make sense for your character? I mean, if your point of view character hates reading, what are they doing making a reference to Dr. Faustus? Second one, hopefully something that you would think about without me telling you is your metaphor a cliche? Of course, there are reasons that we use cliched similes. I mean, broccoli really does look like trees. But try to find unique ways of describing things. And if you are using a comparison that is used very often, find a new way to say it. I mean, we get it. Blue eyes are kind of the color of the clear sky, but is there a better way you can say that? Third question, does the tone of the metaphor fit your story and your character? There are so many different kinds of similes out there that you could make, whether they're funny and cheesy or poetic, very descriptive. You could be using your simile to describe eye color or the emotion behind the eyes. I mean, imagine if Harry Potter, which is a very straightforward, Harry's kind of a down-to-earth kind of character, if he was making really poetic, flowery metaphors, it would seem a little bit off. Fourth question is, how many other metaphors and similes have you used? It's really up to your discretion to decide how much is too much, but I think there is a point where there is too much metaphor in your story. Writing devices are like cake. They're really great when you have a small amount, and sometimes you want to just keep having more and more, but it'll make you sick. Make sure you're mixing up your descriptions and you aren't always relying on comparisons and figurative speech to do it. Last question, and this is the one that is most based on my own opinion, but why are you using this simile? Are you using it because it will better help your reader understand a character or a situation? Or does it really build your character's personality in the way they see the world? Or are you just using it because it sounds cool? Of course, you definitely want your writing to sound good, and you want to have really great metaphors and other figurative language that makes it sound beautiful. But like all elements of our storytelling and our writing, if it's not building your character or your story, there's a chance it might need to go. If you have a really pretty, really beautiful metaphor that's just not fitting into your story, write it down, save it, and maybe it will be perfect for a future manuscript. Anyway, that is my opinion on how you should decide whether or not to use a simile or a metaphor. Feel free to disagree with me, tell me why I'm wrong in the comments, or tell me why I'm right, make me feel good. Make sure to tune in this Sunday at 7:30 Eastern Time for our live chat. I think we have some big announcements we're going to be doing this week, so make sure you're there to hear about it first. Until next time, nerds!